watch?
Over Christmas, we watched an older Christmas movie called Last Christmas, because we didn't see it in when it came out. So Last Christmas from 2019, directed by Emma Thompson, co-directed by
Paul Feig.
Sorry, paper.
Reading the script notes. Okay, screenplay by Emma Thompson,
produced by Emma Thompson, and one part is played by
Emma Thompson.
Hey, if you want to be in a movie, write it yourself.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Then at least you have a clear vision.
Yes. The movie itself is it's just good.
I do feel a little bit of that Emma Thompson vibe in the main character.
Yeah, and she's very much not self-aware, but a girl who does her own thing. And I suppose Emma Thompson was the same. And the dialogue is fun. The pacing is good. When I was watching it with an idea of actually doing a review about it, because unfair, but yeah, you do that. I was going, there's nothing much I can say about it in any way. It's a good movie. There are some issues. There are a couple of issues.
I think one of the themes of being all second generation immigrants, so she is first generation Brit, and her parents are from, was it Bulgaria or something like that? That's interesting, because she's actually from Croatia. There's one of the very few mistakes in this movie is that they get that part a little bit wrong, because the timeline is off, and I think that is a matter of that this film came out 2019. The girl is 30. If certain events happened when she was about 10, so they put it in 1999. However, these events that they hark back into Yugoslavia and Croatia are actually about 5 years earlier. So we're off by 5 years. So she's supposed to come from Yugoslavia, and Yugoslavia was a sub-state in USSR. But when the USSR fell apart, it became a region, and for a little while it became Yugoslavia, but it lacked 4 regions, and they had a big fight and fell apart, and by 1995 their region would have been Croatia. Mm-hmm. But basically they're saying that they sort of left before it fell apart. So yeah, I get that sense that the first scene in the church in, was it Belgrade, was actually intended to show that they were already in England and they had been sent out as a choir to and that was, like an international thing.
That we got that wrong.
And that's why the mother was crying but
no.
It wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear, and
it could have been clarified.
One of the reasons it wasn't clear is that as European, we are a little bit more aware of what other European countries are doing, and that region has the religions are Greek Orthodox, and there's Islam, and there's Catholic. And my question is, what are they? Yugoslavia had all 3, so what are they? Turns out they're Croatian, and they don't say it in the movie, but that's what my conclusion is, and they're Catholic.
Yeah.
Croatians are Catholic. So she's Catholic, she's there for Catholic choir in her home doing a Catholic choir, but she's singing in English, and that's what put us off.
Well, that didn't put me off, but it confused me.
Yeah, it confused you.
Therefore, I'm thinking they're already in England. They're singing for an Anglican or a Catholic choir, and they've been sent out. So that's my headcanon. You have to go with a headcanon because they don't say it. They don't explain that part.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, this is where they get some stuff wrong, is around the Yugoslav-Croat connection.
Yeah.
The chap who plays the father actually has an ethnic name, so I think he's actually here. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Editor Arwen here, researching this to put in all the information. Obviously, the actor is Serb, so probably they're Serbians.
The Wikipedia on this film is incredibly unforthcoming in what they are. It just keeps saying Yugoslavia, and that's just not a thing. So take it for what you will. Serb, not Croatian. I assumed Croatian because on the walls in the house there were crosses which indicated Christian versus not Christian. But Serbs are Orthodox and they have a lot of icons and stuff, and there weren't any on the wall, so that's why I assumed it wasn't Serbian. It's best I could do with no information. Anyway, back to the show. And so maybe a lot of the information they got from him or from people around him, or they got it from people who left the region in 1995 and not in 1999.
Well, I thought it was a very interesting choice to go with that, because as the movie starts, you see this singing and then it launches into her life as now. As
in
just
UK.
an English, quite a wild English girl. In London, doing all sorts of stuff, and there's like nothing to connect it, and that doesn't happen until later in the movie when the parents come in and stuff. So how much does this actually? Is this a part of her journey?
It's her background, and
Yeah.
I think that's because that's not what the story is about.
No,
it is
isn't.
incidental that she is happens to be a Croatian of Croatian extraction.
The only thing I could figure is that both she and the sister have this, like, the parents are super hopeful for them, which happens sometimes in an immigration situation. The parents take the children to this other country to give them a better life, and then also put it up on them to make sure that they achieve. And she was not achieving, her sister was achieving, so she felt like she had not come up to parent standards. So that could be like the emotional baggage that they were trying to put in.
Yeah.
But we're guessing. So.
We're guessing. That on the side that's some of the lesser things about it. What is really good about this movie is the pacing, the banter,
such good banter.
A lot of different people they meet. She works in a Christmas shop which sells Christmas knickknacks all year round, and her boss is this Chinese lady who nicknamed herself Santa because she is the boss of she's the owner. She chose to be a person who sells Santa stuff, Christmas stuff, because she loves Christmas so much.
It's an identity,
and
takes the whole, and she's the elf.
Emilia is the elf, the one other worker there, and they are another good thing about this movie is it's every British street you go to is what actually Britain looks like. If you want to know what Greater London area looks like, that's it. They're all on location, and the way the streets are wet, the yellow lines on the side of the road, the way the shops are, everything it's completely on location. So as that makes this movie wonderful to watch. If you've ever been to London, especially in not in the summertime, this is exactly it. Beautiful.
Yeah, the community refuge place.
It's a church, I think.
It's some kind of church, but it doesn't look like a church. That she stands up and starts singing. It's more grand, but you can still, it's London, it's for real. Yeah,
and that is a landmark. If you're a Londoner, you know exactly which landmark that is. Yeah. But like he lives under in an upstairs house that is next to a train overpass, and that's exactly the way the train overpasses are in the Greater London, in like Islington or wherever, and that's lovely. The fact that because they are Croats for Croat extraction, and she has a Chinese boss, there's so many diversity.
It's
a melting
pot because it is a huge metropole. London, and it has so many influx of so many people for so many reasons.
Yeah,
Not just one or two. It's everybody's there.
Yeah, and they show that, and also the visitors. There's a German guy walks into into Santa's shop, and yeah.
Oh,
I love it. So
so far we haven't actually said why we love it, but it's extremely. Emilia is so much fun to watch.
She's
a complete bumbling. Everything she does is wrong. It's like Bridget Jones but worse.
Yeah,
and she is just wonderful to watch.
And stuff happens for a reason. You find out later. I'm not going to tell you why stuff happens the way it happens.
Yeah.
But in the end, you think, hey, yeah. The only gripe that may have is that the conclusion is, okay, yes. In a way, it is standard. But, I have to say, if you do standard really well, it doesn't matter that it's standard.
Nothing wrong with some classics.
And so I did like the ending, even though I understand that some people may say, okay, that's a little, a certain standard kind of thing. But I loved it because it was done so well. The entire movie is done so well. Yeah. They spent the time on things that needed the time, and not on other things that you don't.
Yeah, I think that's what elevates a cutesy Christmas movie to a proper movie, where the whole thing is held up by every scene counts. The things are built up, and there's payoff. People learn. She develops enormously throughout this thing.
Yes,
and there's also a point of there's like at least 2 trauma like things that she has to work through that have already happened before the story starts, but she has to deal with them. And there's so many different things that she does or she gets to do that help her to get there. Yep. So
this is a good movie, but I hear there's a lot of gripe about it.
Yeah, so I was told.
For once, we're gonna see what the criticisms are and see if if we agree with them.
Yeah. Okay.
So from the wiki.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 46%.
Oh.
Based on 200 plus reviews.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah. Likeable leads.
Yay.
We agree. Actually, we agree a lot. The leads are very likable. Even the parents who are a bit stodgy, the sister who is kind of like anti, you just named her the store owner, Santa.
Santa.
She's like, what? And then you go, oh.
At first you think she's really, really quite... Yeah, stodgy indeed.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to
tough
be...
cookie. Yeah.
But there's a reason she runs a Christmas shop.
And it doesn't...
It's because she's romantic at heart.
It's also saying people are on the outside not the same as on the inside. You don't immediately see somebody comes up to you, they have certain mannerisms and they have a certain way of dealing with stuff. Doesn't automatically mean what goes into your head like, oh, this person must be so and so and they don't like me and I'll just be over here, you know. It's not always the case. So, yes, I will look for more. Terrific talent, intriguing musical hook.
Oh yeah, the Wham, the music from Wham was used as Last Christmas and Wake Up Before You Go and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know why she chose it other than Last Christmas is a very good song and it's a classic.
Maybe it's a case of what's available. I mean,
but she went. You do it properly.
She did it properly
the whole way with it, and you can't really go wrong with George Michael.
Nope.
It's just he's got a lot of different tunes that.
He was a really good writer.
Poorly conceived story.
Yeah, I think that's the ending that
bothers them.
That you were also like...
Yeah, it's what it is the ending that some 13-year-old might put on their overly romantic story, if you know what I mean. But like I said, because it's done well, it doesn't matter.
It didn't bother me, but I like romance. I like a good ending for a story that promises a good ending. And to me, it doesn't... Message in a Bottle did not make me happy.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm in a romance story, yes, I want all the obstacles, but at the end, I want them to get each other. That's... Yeah. Is that too trite? Is that just the payoff for a Christmas movie?
Yeah, but spoiler warning: they don't get each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's their gripe.
Yeah. Okay, poorly conceived. I don't know. There's something else called Metacritic.
Okay.
And that has given the average score of 50 out of 100 based on 40 critics. Other grades from others, they're not very good, the grades.
I want to know why, what they're saying.
Say.
If they don't say why they didn't like it, I'm not going to address it.
Variety claims it's twee, it's precious, it's forced. And it's light on true romance... Maybe because the movie itself is a little too much in love with itself. So if they don't get each other in the end, is there a good reason for it? Do we agree with the reason that they don't get each other?
Well, if you think about this movie and they do get each other in the end and there was nothing special going on, doesn't the entire movie go away?
So
because the point with her life is that she is falling apart because we're going to go straight into spoilers.
Yeah, this is like now spoilers.
Because of her heart transplant, she has not been feeling whole. She's not been feeling complete. She doesn't understand why she's not feeling complete. But she's not feeling complete. She meets the person who donated her heart, and falls in love with him, and incorporates him in that way. And that is a perfect conclusion. If he had been just a regular guy and they would just have met on the street, and in the end they walk away together and sit on that bench, is that a satisfying movie? Because the entire "You Are My Heart" story goes away.
The problem is that she needed to have a conversation with herself,
and she was,
and she didn't. We don't know that she is, but maybe she didn't know she was, and. What happens from the beginning is that he never talks about himself. He is there for her, which makes her feel super loved.
Yeah, except when a couple of times that she isn't.
Yeah,
he's one time he's definitely not there when she needs to.
He's not there, and you find out why he's not there. I think that to have a movie about trauma is not the same as having a rom-com.
This is not a rom-com. That's their mistake to think that it is. Yeah. This is a dramatic movie with comical elements and a Christmassy theme.
It's not even apologetic from the very beginning. After we're out of the flashback, we're into the now, and she is going from bumbling from. She's effectively homeless unless she goes back to parents or sister. But I think the sister may also live with the parents. I'm not sure. When she, at the beginning, she's a mess, and we know this because she has a suitcase. She looks in control because she is a chirpy young woman who is quite happy to verbally spar with anybody and say yes or no to any love interest. That's the thing. It's like her love life is also a train wreck.
Yeah, her love life, her friend's life, her family life.
She doesn't have a home. She sleeps in the store and she lies about it. I think. She
tries to sleep with her in her best friend's house on the couch and
and rightfully leaves. She actually leaves out of her own accord, which is the right thing to do because that was not good.
She started destroying things.
It's not like she doesn't have people. She has her family, she has her boss, and she has her friends. She is just an absolute wreck.
Yeah.
And that is not surprising. She has faced death. She was gonna die. And somebody needed to... A dead person gave... they gave a dead person's heart to her.
Yeah.
If that's not traumatic, nothing is.
And then what she complains about to her mother, is that what happened was that she was very sick for a while, very special in a way, and then she got given this heart, and then basically she was told just be normal from now on.
Normal. And
she didn't know how to do that.
You can't do that. You need to work through the trauma first.
Exactly.
It's a trauma that takes a couple of years.
And that's what this movie is about.
Yeah, some of these...
They just didn't understand the movie.
No.
But that is a problem that sometimes happens. And one of the other things that I very strongly feel, because this is a British movie, it's not an American movie, it's not a Hallmark Christmas movie, but sometimes these non-American movies, they are overasked in what they should be. They should have everything in it, and there is a limit. And Emma Thompson writes a good movie. Really, this is a good movie. This is a solid script.
We watched it. We were absolutely pleased to be watching this on Christmas.
Yeah, but it's not also a musical, and it's not also an action movie, and it's not also this and also that, because she realizes that you can't do that in a film. She knows how to make a film. But the critics sometimes, or people in the country, say, well, we don't have that many big movies. We wanted to put this in it and this in it and this in it.
I think it's a bigger problem, an equally big problem, is that you have a male lead and you have a female lead, and boom, this must be a romance movie.
Yeah. And it's not.
It's a movie about people with, forgive the word, shit going on. Because not only is she having to deal with near death, facing huge operations, probably huge recovery time, and now everybody expects her to just... actually, she's doing quite well considering all that. She has a proper job and everything.
Yeah, but they want her to be normal, and she doesn't feel
she's
normal.
She's not ready to be normal. And let's be honest, the guy does not have a life. He
Literally.
will never have a life. Yeah. It's over for him.
Yeah, I don't think it's not. The way I read the movie once you get to the climax is that he is not him. I mean, he knows a few things. No. He is a reflection inside of her, of him. So that we don't know much about him or find out much about him is not so surprising, I think. Because I think
it's exactly telling. Is that she's having these experiences, whether it's an internal dialogue or something, but she needs somebody to trust to be in her corner and not want something from her. Everybody in her life wants something. And he isn't there to be a person and also have needs and wants. Maybe if you think of it as a ghost story, then he would have had listen, I would like you to know I was there. I existed.
Yeah.
Which is often when people die, then it's one of the important things is to remember them. And now she has some way to actually deal with that heart that she has inside her. I think that is a very eloquent and poetic way of filming that. Yeah.
Anymore.
Want to look for more? So you get some warm feelings for its determination not to be like anything else currently in circulation. This by the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, and that's
I think that's fair, and I think that's actually important to say this is not like something else.
Yeah,
it is itself, and that's where it becomes risque, because how do you do PR and put marketing for something that is like nothing else?
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, here's a movie and we're not gonna tell you the clue because that would be giving away the movie, but it's like a guy and a girl and Christmas.
Yeah, but
now everybody thinks it's a rom-com.
And it's not. And if you think, that's one of the things when when I picked the movie, I had actually seen a couple of the scenes as a spoiler. I think it's in the trailer, so I was aware there was something dramatic going on. But I did give a warning when we sat down. This is not going to be a Hallmark fun movie. No. I don't know where the problems are because the scene wasn't very clear, but there is a definite serious element here that I want to warn you about.
That could be scary.
That could be upsetting.
Yeah. Now, death is a very scary subject,
and surgery and death and all these things.
Major surgery, with. I'm sure there's probabilities as to it could also not work. Even if they do a proper matching. She had a lot on her plate. I think for, let's call her 25, 30-year-old, and maybe at 28 she had this heart surgery. You don't get over that so quickly. That is, you're not going to say, okay, right, I got my heart surgery done, I have done all my physio, I'm ready for love, life, kids, job, give me life.
Apart from all the time she had to waste being sick because you fall behind in your life.
We don't know how long that was.
She did. She cannot. The years. That was clear. It was years.
She may have missed her entire university.
Exactly.
And that she can't make that up anymore. She's not going to make that up. She would rather just work in a Christmas store and sing songs
if you miss your window for that sort of thing, and she comes into, if she would want to go get educated, she comes into adult education or going to university as an older person than the rest of the group.
It's possible,
but it's different. It is different, and she may not be the right type for it anyway.
She didn't strike at all as if that was what she was wanted.
No.
Yeah. It's being criticized as not Paul Feig's best work. Paul Feig is the director and he also co-produced it. However, it fulfills the craving for sticky Christmas pudding.
That's very British.
This is something called the wrap.
Christmas pudding is a very British staple for Christmas, and it's usually rather heavy, fruity substance, and the stickier, the better your Christmas.
Some people really, really love it.
But the thing is, it doesn't need to be. Direction didn't need to be any better than this. Seriously, what more could you have done here?
I thought it was actually quite beautifully and close on the people. The direction was just like, this is a story about a person, and this is a story about people around her, and it was always on the person. It was an intimate filming.
Yeah.
Even if you had the London vistas, and then you were right back with her.
Yeah, there was absolutely no complaints at all about production, direction. So they're wrong. They are wrong.
Yeah, you want one that's completely eviscerating? The Guardian.
Oh, yes, please.
Talks about, well, Emma Thompson's adaptation of Sensibility was considered to be
in 1995.
High quality.
1995. That's how many years ago?
This is like 20 something. 28 years ago. Comparing that to Last Christmas, they described it as second-rate, absurd, and inexplicable. Sorry, but that's not warranted. That's just rude.
And the thing is, they haven't seen Sense and Sensibility since 1995.
Since 1995. Now, I watched it and I loved it.
And that is, of course, also well written, and because Emma Thompson does know her shit. And but it also starts with a book that is well written and from Jane Austen, who also knew her shit. So
with a lot of people who have
way more
lot
money,
of problems going on,
and the production. The thing is, the production on Sense and Sensibility is so much more expensive than this one.
Oh yeah. We could look at.
Please.
That was almost the end of it. I mean, there's like okay. There's something called the AV Club. It calls it this film a guilty pleasure, but criticized the plot as predictable. I did not find it predictable myself. I did predict that he wasn't real by the time that we got to the end. Like maybe a half a scene before. Because I was like getting hints that we never see him when there's anybody else.
Yeah.
And that bench was very much, and I was like, I said to you, what's the name on the bench?
Yeah.
Because I was getting that.
Yeah, and much
but
earlier,
it's not predictable.
Much earlier, I thought at least that because he was associated with that church, I thought he might have been a priest, and that's why he was holding off on her.
Holding off and not speaking personally. I agree.
Yeah, and but no, it wasn't predictable in any way.
No. No, if you find this predictable, then stop watching movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Besides, it's not predictable. When do we ever see anything about Croatian immigrants to the UK with second generation? When do we see anything about the trauma of having major surgery at a young age?
Yeah, people don't... That's the Croatia element, or more specifically, the foreigner in UK element. Also the Brexit element, because there is a bus scene where she is on the bus listening to people talking Croatian, I suppose, because she can understand them in the bus, and then a British person gets up and tells them to F off home, and then
she speaks to them
and then she goes, because she's actually very upset about this, she goes and sits down and talks to them and says, it's all right, it is all right to stay here. But the thing is, the Brexit is real, and that's what the thing that I saw in the movie is that this is a anti-Brexit film in that sense. Mm-hmm. It is pro-diversity and
anti-xeno
phobia.
I also felt like she was saying to them what she would have hoped somebody would have told her parents when they just got there.
Yeah.
It's like paying it forward.
Yeah. She
was being a good person who understands, okay, these people are here now. They're here now. They need to be given somebody lend them a hand. If it's only in the bus and all you can do is, I'll tell you where the next stop is that you need.
Yeah. And I think maybe some of the critiques of, what was it, for some of the English, British, one of the later ones.
The Guardian.
The Guardian
eviscerated it.
And the Guardian, of course, is pro-Brexit, I think. So yeah, it's a pro-Brexit.
Is it? I'm not sure that it is.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stone had also a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Incredibly, shockingly, monumentally bad. It falls somewhere between finding a lump of coal in your stocking and discovering one painfully lodged in your, I will not say, one of the orifices.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Not for public consumption.
That was not nice.
And that's not.
Now I'm thinking they're basically repeating each other. They have heard somebody say something negative about it, and then they look at the film and they go, "Oh, that's shitty." And you should.
And the Brexit problem. I think the Brexit problem is
shining through.
Yeah, because there is a lot of pro-Brexiters in
half
England.
of them voted for the Brexit.
Exactly,
so, yeah.
And not many have changed their minds, I believe. And so this is sort of showing people's colors here.
So that's Emma Thompson. Let's all put it on Emma. Emma and Paul Feig. I don't know, but it's Emma Thompson probably saying, immigrants are people too. It could be simple as that.
It is simple as that.
This is a literal story about somebody's heart. What a heart! How pivotal to your life a heart is.
Metaphorically and actually.
Yeah, because some of these reviewers all think it's a RomCom. So they think it's about her heart in a sense of this guy's coming in her life and this will be it. And she's going to change for him. She's not changing for him. Not at any point in the movie is she changing for him. For any guy. Which is established in the first couple of scenes. by how she runs her life with guys. Guys are important, as in she wants them, but she's happy to throw them away as well right after.
Yeah.
So she's not dependent on a guy. So she's very much a modern woman.
And I think if you have already put some preconceptions in your head, and then at the end they don't walk away together because you have told yourself it's rom-com, and then they don't walk away together,
and
then you're going to be disappointed.
It was a rom-com, and I was still like, I'm fulfilled.
Yeah, but you like good movies. And also the definition of rom-com is not as universal as people might say, because there's a couple of films we would say are rom-coms,
or at least romantic.
Romantic, but they are basically romantic dramas with some shenanigans in it, and it doesn't make it a rom-com. A rom-com, I think the definition of rom-com is too loosely defined to say this is a rom-com. Yeah, you can call this a rom-com. It's a rom-com with serious elements. Or you can say this is a drama with a romantic...
and comedic elements. She's hilariously funny.
She's so funny.
She is, I mean, literally, the first at least quarter, if not half of the movie, we were giggling through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because she's lovely, she's fun,
But it's all three. It's a comedic, it's romantic, and it's dramatic. It's all three of them. So it's a rom-com drama.
Yeah. And what more do you want?
Well written, one rom-com drama, well directed, well played, in all on locations, with locations to look at. I mean, it's a city,
ending.
but okay, it's at least not New
London,
York.
London is a good location.
It's not New York again. It's not Los Angeles again. It's London.
It's London again, but it's London.
It's London. They could have done Edinburgh, but you can visit these places if you want to go.
Could have been any other major city in the UK.
But they did the right thing by going on location, whatever place they chose, by getting good actors in, good script, good idea, good. It's all good. This is a good movie.
It's good. So don't believe any of these reviewers because they don't know what they're talking about.
They are either going from the politically wrong idea or the genre wrong idea.
And I think the genre is Christmas movie. And for Christmas movie, do we feel good at the end? Oh, hell yes, do we feel good. It ticked that box. It has done what it needed to do. It made us feel. It made us believe that the characters were real, because everyone's quite real. The only one who's a bit not so real is Santa.
Santa's very interesting, but she's real.
She becomes real once you realize who she is.
Yes.
So the non-real part doesn't last very long. She's a little bit cardboardy, but that's on purpose because she's Santa.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I had a fantastic time watching this movie. If I'd known in 2019 that this movie was out, I would have gone to see it. I don't know. Might have been in our area in the movies.
You never quite know.
We
don't always get the right advertisements for things. But anyway, this is definitely recommended. Go watch anytime.
Absolutely, 100% recommended. There is nothing in here that you shouldn't be watching.
Yeah. As long as you do realize this is not a fluffy comedy.
But it has fluff and it has comedy.
If it has fluff, indeed.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
And that's my opinion. And we're sticking to it.